Meet Sarah. It was a humid Tuesday evening, 3 weeks ago, and her peaceful suburban home had become a battleground. Tiny, relentless invaders were everywhere. A trail of ants marched across her pristine kitchen counter, a cockroach scuttled beneath the fridge, and she swore she felt something itching on her arm even after getting out of bed. Sarah had tried everything: sticky traps, expensive sprays that made her cough, even those ultrasonic plug-ins that promised miracles but delivered nothing. Her frustration was boiling over, and she knew she couldn't keep living like this. Sarah's predicament isn't unique. Millions of homeowners worldwide face the same disheartening struggle against uninvited guests. These aren't just minor nuisances. Pests can spread diseases, contaminate food, damage property, and frankly, make your own home feel uncomfortable. The market is flooded with solutions, many of them chemical concoctions that promise quick kills but often come with their own set of concerns, from lingering odors to potential health risks for pets and children. It feels like a never-ending cycle, right? But what if I told you there's a simple, natural, and incredibly effective solution that's been around for millennia? A solution so cheap, often costing just a couple of dollars, that the big pest control companies would rather you never found out about it? Sarah, at her wit's end, stumbled upon this very secret during a late-night internet search. Skepticism was her first reaction. How could a cheap powder do what expensive chemicals couldn't? But the overwhelming positive reviews and the promise of a non-toxic approach piqued her curiosity. She decided to investigate. The secret ingredient Sarah discovered is called Diatomaceous Earth, or DE for short. It's not some newfangled chemical, it's an ancient wonder. Think of it as nature's own silent assassin. DE is a naturally occurring, soft, sedimentary rock that is easily crumbled into a fine, white powder. It's mined from various parts of the world, and its history stretches back millions of years. But what exactly is it made of, and why is this ordinary-looking powder so extraordinary in its bug-killing abilities? To understand DE, we need to take a tiny trip back in time, millions of years ago, to the bottom of ancient lakes and oceans. This powder is quite literally the fossilized remains of microscopic, single-celled algae called diatoms. Imagine these tiny, jewel-like organisms living in water, photosynthesizing, and forming intricate cell walls around themselves. These cell walls, incredibly, were made almost entirely of silica, the same material found in sand and glass. When diatoms died, their silica skeletons sank to the bottom, accumulating over eons. Now, here's where the magic, or rather, the science, happens. If you were to look at a pinch of diatomaceous earth under a powerful microscope, you wouldn't see soft, smooth grains. Instead, you'd be astonished. Each tiny particle is a jagged, microscopic shard, like countless miniature pieces of broken glass. These sharp edges are the diatom's intricately structured cell walls, preserved through time. They are harmless to us, but for an insect, these tiny particles are an invisible minefield. So, how does this invisible minefield work? It all starts when an insect, like an ant or a roach, scurries across a surface treated with diatomaceous earth. As the insect moves, the incredibly sharp, jagged particles of DE come into contact with its exoskeleton, that hard, waxy outer layer that protects the insect. The DE particles act like tiny razor blades, microscopically scratching and piercing this protective waxy coating. This isn't a single big wound, it's thousands of tiny, imperceptible abrasions. Once the waxy outer layer of the insect is compromised by these microscopic scratches, its body is no longer sealed. Insects rely on this waxy coating to retain moisture and regulate their internal water balance, much like our skin does. With the coating breached, the diatomaceous earth particles then begin to absorb the insect's vital bodily fluids and oils. Essentially, the insect starts to dehydrate rapidly. It's a physical process, not a chemical one, and it's incredibly effective, leading to the insect's demise within hours to days. This mechanism is crucial to understand. Most traditional pesticides work chemically, poisoning the insect's nervous system or disrupting its biological functions. Diatomaceous earth, however, uses a purely physical method. It's like being scratched to death and then slowly dried out, rather than being poisoned. This fundamental difference has massive implications, especially when it comes to insect resistance and safety for everything else in your home. Sarah found this distinction particularly reassuring. One of the biggest problems with chemical pesticides is that bugs can, and often do, develop resistance over time. Through natural selection, insects that are more tolerant to a specific chemical survive and reproduce, leading to superbugs that are harder and harder to kill. But with Diatomaceous Earth, this isn't a concern. Since the kill mechanism is purely physical, essentially a mechanical scratching and drying out, insects cannot develop an immunity. You can't evolve to not get scratched. This makes DE a consistently effective solution, year after year. Now, a crucial distinction: there are different grades of Diatomaceous Earth. You must only use food-grade DE for pest control in your home. Industrial-grade DE, used in filters for pools and other applications, is chemically treated and dangerous. Food-grade DE, however, is pure, untreated, and considered safe enough for human and animal consumption in small quantities, often used as a dietary supplement or dewormer. This means it's safe to use around your children and pets, giving Sarah the peace of mind she desperately sought. So, which annoying critters can Diatomaceous Earth effectively tackle? The list is quite extensive, targeting a wide range of common household pests with exoskeletons. This includes Sarah's nemesis, the ant, along with cockroaches, fleas, bedbugs, those notorious nocturnal biters, silverfish, earwigs, and even many types of spiders, although spiders are arachnids, not insects. Basically, if it has an exoskeleton and walks on the powder, DE is going to cause trouble. It's a broad-spectrum, natural solution for many of your bug woes. Knowing what DE is and how it works is great, but applying it correctly is key. Sarah learned that the powder isn't meant to be spread everywhere like snow. Instead, it needs to be applied in a very thin, almost invisible layer in specific areas where pests are known to travel or hide. Think of it as creating an invisible barrier or trap. Prime locations include cracks and crevices in walls, under and behind appliances like refrigerators and stoves, along baseboards, and even in windowsills. Basically, any hidden pathway a bug might take. To get that perfect, almost invisible dusting, you'll want to use the right tools. Simply shaking it out of the bag can lead to over-application and a messy situation. A small hand duster or a puffer bottle is ideal. These tools allow you to disperse the DE very finely and evenly, getting it into tight spaces without creating big piles. Remember, less is more. If you can see the powder clearly, you've likely applied too much. The goal is for bugs to walk through it without even realizing it's there. There's one golden rule when using Diatomaceous Earth: it must stay dry to be effective. The moment DE gets wet, its sharp, abrasive particles soften and clump together, losing their ability to scratch and dehydrate insects. If you apply DE in a damp area, or if it gets exposed to water from a spill or cleaning, you'll need to reapply it once the surface is completely dry. Sarah quickly learned that bathrooms and kitchens, while common pest hotspots, require extra attention to keep the powder effective. Armed with her new knowledge and a bag of food-grade DE, Sarah embarked on her pest control mission. She donned a simple dust mask, just in case, and a pair of gloves. Starting in the kitchen, she carefully puffed a fine, almost invisible line along the baseboards, making sure to get into the tiny crack where the ants had been marching. She then targeted the dark space behind her fridge and the rarely cleaned area under the sink. Moving to the bathroom, she paid special attention to corners and the back of cabinets. It was a methodical, careful process. Unlike chemical sprays that offer an instant knockdown, Diatomaceous Earth isn't a magic bullet for immediate kills. The physical mechanism of dehydration takes time. Sarah knew this, but the waiting was still a challenge after weeks of frustration. She understood that bugs needed to physically walk through the powder, pick up the particles, and then begin the slow process of drying out. It could take anywhere from a few hours for smaller, more susceptible insects to several days for larger, tougher pests. Patience, she realized, was a virtue in this battle. 2 days after her initial application, Sarah tentatively checked her kitchen. At first, she saw nothing. Then, near the baseboard where the ants had been parading, she noticed a few motionless specks. Upon closer inspection, they were indeed ants, shriveled and clearly deceased. A flicker of hope ignited. The next morning, she found a couple of dead cockroaches under the fridge. The evidence was undeniable: the powder was working. It wasn't a mass graveyard, but a steady trickle of casualties, confirming the silent assassin was on the job. One of the most remarkable aspects of diatomaceous earth is its longevity. As long as it remains dry and undisturbed, it continues to be effective indefinitely. This isn't a spray that loses potency after a few hours or days. Once applied correctly, DE forms a lasting barrier. Sarah found this incredibly appealing. She wouldn't have to reapply every week or month, just occasional touch-ups if an area got wet or was cleaned. It transformed her pest control from an active chore into a passive, continuous defense system. Let's dive into the core advantages of diatomaceous earth. Number 1, and arguably the most important for many homeowners, is its non-toxic nature. Because it's a physical killer and not a chemical poison, food-grade DE is completely safe for your children and pets. You can apply it in areas they might frequent without fear of them ingesting harmful chemicals. This was a huge relief for Sarah, who had always worried about her curious cat and the chemical residues from previous pest treatments. Safety first, always. Next up, the price tag. Pest control can be shockingly expensive, with professional services costing hundreds or even thousands of dollars annually. Chemical sprays add up quickly too. But a large bag of food-grade diatomaceous earth, enough to treat an entire home multiple times, often costs less than $20, and frequently you can find smaller quantities for just a few dollars. Sarah had spent far more on a single can of bug spray that barely worked. This makes DE one of the most cost-effective pest control solutions on the planet. Beyond personal safety and cost, diatomaceous earth offers significant environmental benefits. It's an all-natural product, harvested from the earth, and it doesn't introduce synthetic chemicals or toxins into your home or the wider environment. When you use DE, you're not contributing to groundwater contamination or harming beneficial insects in your garden, unless they specifically walk over it, of course, but targeted indoor application minimizes this. It's a truly green approach to pest management, aligning with Sarah's growing desire for a more sustainable lifestyle. Of course, no solution is perfect, and DE has its drawbacks. The primary one, as Sarah experienced, is that it's not an instant kill. If you're looking for immediate results, like watching a bug drop dead on contact, DE isn't for you. This can be frustrating when you're dealing with an active infestation and want quick relief. It requires patience and a bit of a strategic mindset. You're playing the long game with DE, setting up a permanent defense rather than delivering a quick, temporary blow. Another potential downside is mess. If you over-apply diatomaceous earth, especially in visible areas, it can create a noticeable, dusty layer. This fine powder can get tracked around, making your home look a bit chalky. Remember, the goal is an almost invisible application. While a duster helps, beginners might struggle to get it just right. Sarah learned this the hard way with her first attempt under the couch, requiring a quick vacuum cleanup. A light hand and targeted application are key to avoiding this mess. While food-grade DE is non-toxic if ingested, inhaling the fine dust can be irritating to the lungs and respiratory system, especially for those with asthma or other breathing sensitivities. It's similar to inhaling any fine dust, like flour or sawdust. Therefore, it's always recommended to wear a simple dust mask when applying DE, particularly if you're doing a large area or using a puff duster. Ensure good ventilation in the area as well. This is a common-sense safety precaution, not a sign of toxicity. Similarly, direct contact with diatomaceous earth can cause mild skin dryness or irritation for some individuals, and it can be irritating if it gets into the eyes. Remember, those microscopic shards are sharp. So, wearing gloves and eye protection, like safety glasses, during application is a good practice, particularly for people with sensitive skin or who wear contact lenses. If you do get it in your eyes, simply rinse thoroughly with water. These are minor precautions for a powerful, natural solution. Let's take a moment to directly compare Diatomaceous Earth with typical chemical pest control sprays. On one side, chemical sprays often offer a fast kill, providing immediate visual satisfaction. However, they introduce toxins into your home, pose risks to children and pets, emit fumes, and pests can develop resistance, forcing you to switch products or increase application frequency. They are a quick fix, but often with long-term compromises. This is the path Sarah initially took, with disappointing results. Now, consider Diatomaceous Earth. While slower, it works through a physical mechanism, meaning zero chemical toxins in your home and no risk of pest resistance. It's safe for children and pets, requires less frequent reapplication, and is incredibly affordable. You're investing in a permanent, non-toxic defense system rather than a temporary, risky attack. For Sarah, the choice became clear: a slower, safer, and ultimately more sustainable path to a bug-free home was exactly what she needed. It felt like taking control back. DE isn't just for inside your house. Its versatility extends far beyond your baseboards. Many people use it in their gardens to deter slugs, snails, and other soft-bodied pests. It can be lightly dusted on pet fur to help control fleas and ticks. Just make sure it's food grade and applied carefully, avoiding their eyes. Some even use it in chicken coops to manage mites. Always research specific applications, but it's clear this humble powder has many tricks up its sleeve for natural pest management in various settings. Fast forward several weeks. Sarah's home is now blissfully bug-free. The ant trails are gone, the cockroaches are a distant, shudder-inducing memory, and she sleeps soundly without any phantom itching. She still keeps a duster of DE handy for occasional touch-ups or if a stray bug dares to venture inside, but the constant battle is over. She saved money, avoided chemicals, and found a truly effective, long-term solution. Her peace of mind? Priceless. It's a testament to the power of understanding natural science. Now, about that sensational claim, pest control companies are furious. Are they truly seeing red over a $2 powder? Not exactly in the way you might think. While Diatomaceous Earth empowers homeowners to solve many common pest problems themselves, potentially reducing demand for some basic services, professional pest control still serves a vital role. They handle severe infestations, hard-to-reach areas, specialized pests, and offer convenience many people are willing to pay for. But yes, the more homeowners know about DE, the less reliant they are on constant, expensive chemical treatments. So, pest control companies aren't going anywhere. They provide expertise for complex situations, deal with pests like termites or rodents that DE doesn't address, and offer a hands-off solution for those who simply don't have the time or inclination for DIY pest management. What DE does is shift the power balance, giving you, the homeowner, an effective and affordable option for routine bug problems. It forces a re-evaluation of what constitutes necessary professional service, encouraging transparency and offering consumers choice. Ultimately, this video isn't about shaming pest control companies, it's about empowering you. It's about demystifying pest control and showing you that you don't always need harsh chemicals or expensive recurring services to protect your home. With a little knowledge and a few dollars, you can take control of many common bug problems, safely and effectively. Sarah's story is just one example of how a simple, natural solution can make a huge difference in your quality of life. Let's quickly recap the incredible benefits of food-grade Diatomaceous Earth. It's a natural, non-toxic powder made from fossilized diatoms. It kills insects physically by dehydrating them, meaning no pest resistance ever develops. It's incredibly inexpensive, safe for children and pets, and offers long-lasting protection when kept dry. While it requires patience and proper application to avoid mess and inhalation, these minor drawbacks are easily managed with simple precautions. It's a genuine game-changer for home pest control. If you're tired of fighting bugs, feeling uncomfortable in your own home, or spending a fortune on chemical solutions, why not give Diatomaceous Earth a try? It's readily available online, at garden stores, or even some pet supply shops. Just remember to always choose food-grade DE. Start with a small bag, a duster, and watch this ancient, natural wonder transform your home. You might just find yourself wondering why you didn't discover this simple secret sooner. Millions of people like Sarah have already discovered the power of this humble $2 powder. If you've tried Diatomaceous Earth before, or if you're planning to after watching this, share your experiences in the comments below. Your insights could help countless others take back their homes from unwanted pests. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more educational content, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into surprising solutions. Until next time, stay curious and stay bug-free.